Got it. All right. Good morning. Welcome to our small business interview with the expert. My name is Ronnie Holder Diefenbach, and I'm the executive director for the Economic Alliance. And I have been conducting these interviews over the last couple of weeks. This is going to be a short weekly discussion that the Economic Alliance will be hosting to discuss topics such as how to start a small business lending, business formation, accounting and marketing for your business, and many more. These sessions will be short 5 to 10 question interviews that we hope will answer some of your most important need to know questions. We will allow time for questions at the end and encourage you to reach out to the Economic Alliance and/or our industry experts to find out more about any topic you are interested in learning more about. We are on Facebook Live, so if you are interested in asking questions throughout the interview, please add that to the chat or into the comments section, and we'll make sure that we address those questions at the end of our interview. Today, we will be learning about our upcoming small business workshops, and we are so excited to have Roxanne Best, owner of Roxtography, who will be sharing her wisdom and experience working with small businesses and more information about our upcoming workshops. Welcome, Roxanne. Can you share a little bit about your background and yourself?
Yes, my name is Roxanne Best, and I totally just froze. I never do that to introducing myself. I am the owner of Roxtography. I originally started my business as a photography business, and I was 100% focused on photography. And it has evolved over the last few years into yoga, life coaching, and I do a lot of in-person trainings and online trainings for Native organizations to help people get their business started, to help work out their marketing plans and strategies and learn more about social media. And what has happened is my photography business has evolved more into an education business about how to photograph your business and create your own brand image on social media and your website.
Great. And I've known Roxanne for a long time. We've communicated over the years. I think you might have been a few grades ahead of me in high school, except I was in OMAC and you were in Okanagan, but we've been aware of each other and we've worked over the years in different aspects in the profession. So we are so excited to have you here, and we're really excited to bring you on through the Economic Alliance to teach a couple of our upcoming workshops. You know, your experience that you bring to the table, working with small businesses. I think you being trained to teach our Indianpreneurship classes and traveling throughout the United States and teaching photography in that Indianpreneurship class has been extraordinary. So we're really happy that we have a local expert that's going to be able to come in here to offer these same types of services to our local businesses and to those who are interested in starting a new business. So can you tell me a little bit and give a brief overview about the two classes that you'll be teaching this month in June?
It's like the first one is this week, actually.
Yes.
It starts Thursday and Friday. It's a 2-day training, and it's Business 101. And we're going to cover like all the components that you need to, whether you're writing a business plan or just thinking about starting a business, or you have a business and I need to get organized and have a strategy. So we'll be covering things from like developing your mission statement or your purpose statement, like figuring out why you're in business. And then how does that translate? We're going to be like touching briefly on a lot of different subjects just to bring familiarity to it. And also so you can create an awareness of some of the things that you can do on your own in order to be better in business, to start your business, or to just decide whether or not you're cut out to be an entrepreneur. A lot of times we think, I want to open a business, and then we learn what it actually means to be a business owner. And it's like, wait, that's not for me. So yeah, it's really good. It's going to be a great experience for any level of entrepreneur.
Great. And the Photography 101?
Oh, the Photography 101. I'm excited about that one too. With that class, we'll be looking at like the basics of photography. If you have your own camera, I highly encourage you to bring it. If you don't have a camera, I have a few cameras on hand that people can use and play with. But the idea is that you're going to learn how to take images for your business, or if you're looking at exploring becoming a professional photographer, you'll learn some really good foundations for photography. I know one of the big challenges that I faced when I'm a self-taught photographer. I took a couple of classes when I was in college, but they were all black and white, and it was film, and it was different. But one of my big challenges was learning how to use studio lights. Like when we all start out, we're like, oh, I'm a natural light photographer. And we say that because we don't know how to use studio setups. And so one of the things I want to expose people to is also like what it looks like and how simple it is to use artificial lighting for your photography when you're photographing your products, when you're photographing someone for a portrait session, whatever your purpose might be. So that class is going to be foundation of photography, learning how to get off of program mode and shoot in manual. And then also like how to compose an image. And we'll cover a little bit about editing, but this class is going to be a lot about like how to take quality images, whether you're using a professional camera, your smartphone camera, or a point and shoot camera. Whatever you have, you can still capture fantastic images.
Great. And that class is actually going to be held. The Photography 101 is June 28th and 29th from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So we've got 2 upcoming workshops just to, again, to highlight that. The Intro to Business is June 2nd and 3rd from 9 to 3. And the Photography 101 is June 28th and 29th from 10 to 3. And if you want to register for one of these classes, it's really easy. You contact 509-826-5107 and ask for Jennifer, and she can get you registered. All right. So in the Business 101 or Intro to Business class, you know, you've had experience teaching these classes in the past. What is one of the most common questions that you hear from individuals who might be thinking about starting a business?
Oh, gosh. Well, the first question is, how do I finance my business? So funding is one of the big questions. And then the other is just basically, how do I even get started? If you are not familiar with entrepreneurship or what it means to even be in business, everyone's like, I don't even know what my first step is. So that's something that we cover in this Business 101 classes. You know, what is your next step? What does it look like to be in business for yourself?
Great. So if somebody is interested in participating in the Business 101, do they need to have a business plan in place? Do they have to have started one? Or can they just have an idea that they've been thinking about? Or maybe they've seen a business and thought, or walked by an empty building and thought, hey man, that would be a cool place to start a new business. You know, what is there anything, I mean, preliminary requirements or anything like that that people need to have?
I don't know. You don't need anything. If you're like, I think I want to be an entrepreneur, but I'm not sure what it means to be an entrepreneur, you can come to this class. If you already have a business and you're like, I think I want to expand, or you know, whatever it is, or you just want to get organized, this is going to be a great class for you to take also. So you don't have to have anything but an idea or even an inkling. Like, I think I want to start a business, and I want to scare you out of it. Just kidding. I won't scare you.
I think a lot of people, especially now, want to, I mean, are thinking more about working for themselves and what it means to start a business and taking on that responsibility. I think that, you know, I've taught these classes and did as well, and have participated in, you know, my husband and I own several businesses ourselves. And so, you know, it isn't for the lighthearted. Definitely, you know, being in business and going through the steps and learning through, you know, there's a lot of things that come up that people don't realize. And, you know, when you talk about market share and looking at, you know, financials and dealing with profit and loss statements and balance sheets and even putting together a marketing strategy for your business, and, you know, all of those things that come together when you start diving deeper and deeper into the thought about starting your own business. It isn't as simple as, oh, I want to start a business, so tomorrow all I have to do is get on the Secretary of State and register my business and I have a business.
Right.
You can do that, but that's not going to make you, be successful in business. So there's so many different steps, and that's what's so good is that with this workshop that you're holding, you're going to be touching on all of the different aspects that people really need to be aware of as you start a new business. Even like insurance and liability, and all of those different things that a lot of times people don't necessarily think about that is necessary. So it's really, really exciting.
Yeah, I'm always surprised at how little awareness folks have when they're thinking of starting a business, of all the different components that are involved in starting a business. And another thing that we'll cover is identifying, what do you need your business to do for you? What is your idea of a successful business? Some of us, it's just to have vacation money or extra cash or just to support a hobby. Some of us might be looking to quit our jobs and replace an income. So, clearly defining that purpose for yourself is really going to be a key part of what we're doing in this workshop as well.
Great. So you mentioned earlier about your photography class, and I can't talk because I talk too much.
That's usually my job.
So nice. So you mentioned that a person could bring their own camera to participate. Is it okay? If all I have and all I just bought a brand new iPhone and that's going to be my professional photography. Is that good enough? Is that going to be enough for me to come in and bring that only?
Absolutely. That's my favorite class to teach, is the iPhone, the smartphone photography for marketing and promotion, or just if you're a professional photographer and you're looking at becoming a professional photographer, your iPhone's not going to cut it. But if you're looking at photography to, develop your own marketing materials, to create a brand strategy, whatever that might be, your smartphones are completely like a great tool, because we always have them with us. Right. And I will have some cameras that you can touch and play with and explore, depending on how many people are in the class. I think I've got 4 cameras that I can loan, and only one lens for each camera. But I will have all of my lenses, so you can explore those as well. It's really all about getting exposure, but no pun intended, to what it means to actually know what you're doing and looking at when you're taking a photo.
Great.
So when you hear f-stop or ISO, you're like, I know what that means.
Exactly. That's awesome. Can you share with us your favorite part of having a photography business, and what has been the hardest part?
Oh my gosh, my favorite part about having a photography business is the opportunity I started photography because I love food. I went to culinary arts school and discovered I hated cleaning up the mess and all the prep for cooking, but I loved the plating and taking photos of the food. And that's my favorite part of photography, as well as more lifestyle, candid type portraits or branding sessions, if you will. I just love when like with food, there's a personality that comes through when it's beautifully plated and beautifully put together. And the same thing with portraits. When somebody actually shows up to a session as themselves and lets their personality shine through, which is what a branding session is all about, or senior portrait sessions, I'm like, I get so excited. So that my favorite part is that, and that ability to be creative while still, being in business. And so that combination of the two.
And what do you think has been the hardest part or your biggest challenge?
Bookkeeping, accounting, taxes. It's like anybody who's in the creative world, or most people in business, like once people get in business, that's the most commonly requested assistance that people need. Is I need to know how, to learn more about taxes, to learn more about filing their taxes and bookkeeping for their businesses. So yeah, it's an ongoing learning process. I'm still learning. I've been in business for almost 7 years now, and I'm still figuring out that it's better just to hire an accountant.
Well, and that's going to be one of our expert interviews. We were waiting, tax season hit, and then people are dealing with extensions. And so one of our expert interviews is going to be with an accountant, because that is a very common issue that we deal with here, working with a small business development center. And, we have businesses who come in who are just like, we don't know what our accountant needs. How should we prepare ourselves, and those different types of things. And so I think, people attending your workshop with the intro to business will get some of those basic things that they will need to try to help them identify. There are some very simple spreadsheets that are out there. You don't even have to have QuickBooks that people can use, that if they start from the beginning, it will help them be able to track some of that information. So I think that, having workshops like this is extremely important. And you are not alone. All businesses are dealing with those same types of issues.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad that you guys are doing that as well, because that really is a need, and it's exciting.
And I think right now we need more accountants, more people who will do small business bookkeeping and accounting. There's people out there, but the majority of them are booked. So it's, so if you are out there wanting to start a small business, here's one idea.
I've been telling people that if you're even close to being able to become a bookkeeper or an accountant, like, do it, because there's
if you have those skills, and knowledge.
Such a demand,
So can you tell us why it is important that people who are thinking about starting a small business attend a class like this?
So when I was thinking about starting a business originally, I took a class like this, and it completely opened up my eyes to what I needed to be aware of, because I didn't know. Because like Ronnie said, you just go to the Secretary of State, get your business license, and boom, I'm in business. No, there's so many more steps involved, and so much more involved. And when you have a foundation to start out, setting yourself up for success, which is what these workshops do, then you're more likely to have success, because you're not trying to learn as you go. You kind of have a roadmap to where you're trying to go and what you're looking to accomplish in your business. Whereas if you just do I got my business license, I'm in business now, and I sell this. And it's like, wait a minute, how do I price my item? How do I let people know I even have this for sale? Or how much do I charge for taxes? How am I supposed to take credit card payments? Do I need a business account? All of those things, they'll make or break a business in the long run. Do you have cash coming in? What does your cash flow look like for the year? Do you have peak seasons? Do you have low seasons? Are you optimizing your peak seasons? Which that's more marketing strategy, but it's still part of being in business. And if you don't know and you don't have an awareness that's what you have to do, and to be aware of as a business owner, then you're going to miss a lot of opportunities. And speaking from experience, and I feel uniquely qualified to teach this to like just the average person who is, because I really made all this. And, so from my mistakes, I've learned and grown and expanded my business. But, there's so much. And even though I took the class, I still made the mistakes, but I knew what the mistakes were so that I didn't fail. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, definitely. I taught a startup boot camp a couple of years ago, and I had some existing businesses who showed up, and they, when we got into the business formation, a lot of people go and they set themselves up as sole proprietors, and they don't understand how the liability that they do if they set themselves up as sole proprietors. And so it was a big, we brought in an attorney who talked about business formation and the different classifications, LLC, LLP, C Corp, S Corp, and talked about all of the different things. And a lot of people don't think about, when they're starting a business, why they have the different classifications and the formations, and what one, evaluating to see which one fits their business best. Mm-hmm. And that is what you do up front. That's one of the first things that you're deciding. And if you get that wrong, it's not that you can't go back and change it later on. But during that time period where maybe you just thought, I'll just do it as a sole prop, and I'm going to file everything through my social security number, and this is the way I'm going to run my business, because it's simple. But they taking a class like this up front will help you get prepared and set your business up to be in that right formation from day one, which is a big thing to do. So I'm really excited about these upcoming classes. I don't want to take up too much of everybody's time, but do you have anything that you want to share with our audience? Or how about some of the strategies that you have given advice to other small businesses, or when you're teaching these class, that are some of maybe the 3 top things that you have seen with successful businesses, or that people can do to set themselves up for success?
The number one thing is solutions to problems. Be able to pivot, one of the best skills you can have as an entrepreneur or business owner is to see a roadblock and figure out how to go under it, over it, around it, or through it, whatever it is, not seeing roadblocks as a stopping point, but as a challenge to overcome. That would be number 1. And number 2 would be know what you need your business to do for you. So then you can set yourself up for success. And once you reach that point, clearly defining your idea of what the successful business looks like. And then also surrounding yourself with people that are on the right track as you, with the same mindset, that are going to support your ideas, that understand what it means to be an entrepreneur, so that you can have that support. One of the hardest things for me was always hearing people when you're struggling or having a tough time, and you share that with someone who works a regular job, and their only response is, "Well, just get a real job." And I'm like, but my business is a real job. I'd work hard. And, I'm just sharing, so finding people that can say, you know what, this is a tough time, but this is what you can do or need to do to overcome it. So surrounding yourself with positive energy, positive people, so that you can be successful. My 3 best. And also, on a more technical, less woo-y level, know your cash flow. How much money do you have coming in? How much money is going out? Because that is going to be so important to making sure you're successful in the long term. But yes. So that was 4 things, but 4 good things.
Thank you. I was having some technical difficulties there. Sorry.
Trying to pull up the Facebook.
Yes, I was looking at the question. Is there any questions? And then I'm all of a sudden we're talking to both things. So I apologize for that. Is it just last time, if there's any questions that anybody has for Roxanne, please add them into the comment section, and I will now be able to look at them without it talking to me.
Now I'm getting talked to.
So thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of our interview with the experts, to share this very important information and this resource that we're going to be offering to our local businesses and to those who are looking at starting up a business. Again, if you're interested in registering for one of these upcoming classes, they're going to be the Intro to Business is this week, Thursday and Friday from 9 to 3. And then the Photography 101 is going to be June 28th and 29th from 10 to 3. So if you're interested in registering, these classes are in person and they are free. We got a grant through the Washington State Microenterprise Association, who has allowed us to be able to offer these workshops for free to the public. Please contact our office at 826-5107 and ask for Jennifer, and she will register you for the class. You are incredible, Roxanne. You help so many people by teaching them all the business knowledge you have. That was a comment. So you have people who love you and who are super excited about you teaching this class for our community. And again, I have to say, we are so, thankful that we have local resources that we can tap into. We don't have to hire a consultant from outside of the area to come here to teach our small businesses when we have people that are here local that we can tap into, like yourself. So we appreciate your time. And is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
If you're an artist and you're looking to start a business, like turn your art hobby into a business, I also teach classes they're specifically for Native artists that are looking to start businesses. But just know that there's that knowledge coming to this training as well. I didn't really go into the specs of my background. I do have a Bachelor of Science in Sports Management and a minor in business. I have an Associate of Science in Culinary Arts. And I also have an Associate of Science I have one other degree. I can't remember what it is. But I also have a yoga business, and I've been teaching yoga for like 7, 10, 11 years now. And, so I'm coming to the table with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, and I love to share. I'm an open book. I definitely am not an information hoarder. I like to learn so that I can share that with other people. And I also, last thing I will say, because I can talk away like Ronnie as well, is even though this is a free training, come. This is how these programs and these organizations get more funding, so we can have more of these trainings. The more of you that show up and learn and participate, the more there shows a need for the funding and the more that we'll have in our community. So please, if you know anybody who would benefit from this, encourage them to come. Even though it's free, it's definitely, worth your time and effort so that we can continue to build up our community and our resources locally.
Thank you. And I just wanted to mention before we close that the Economic Alliance is the Small Business Development Center. So we do offer free one-on-one small business assistance, and that is from anybody looking at starting a business all the way up to businesses who might have a question about their financials or marketing plans, or looking at expanding, or want to develop a succession plan because they want to retire and want to plan for whoever is going to come in and take over or selling their business. And then over this last year, we also have a small business resource and technology center, which offers technology for businesses and anybody looking at starting a business to come in to access for free. So we have computers, laptops, we have a drone, we've got light boxes that I'm sure Roxanne will be looking at and helping businesses learn how to utilize. We also have a video camera, microphones, a professional photography setup so that people can check those out and help them with their e-commerce and marketing their small businesses and their products. So I just want to make sure that people know that these resources are here. We are local, our office is located in Okanagan. And if you're interested in any of that, then you can contact us at 509-826-5107. So thank you. I don't see any questions, Roxanne, but I want to, again, thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to those Small Business 101 workshop and the Photography 101 class that will be held, both of them in June. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Have an awesome day.
You too. Thank you, guys.
Bye.